Guys, mic's on. Terry, Lindsay, you guys about ready? Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Delta County Board of County Commissioners regular meeting for November 18th, 2025. Please stand and join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Are there any additions, edits to our agenda this morning?
I have none.
The agenda will stand as presented. Constituent time. Is there anybody in the room that'd like to visit with commissioners this morning? Lindsay, anybody online? You didn't get a chance. Would you like to visit with the commissioners this morning? It's constituent time. No? Okay. Very good. Then we'll move on to County Clerk, Ms. Stevenson.
Good morning, Commissioners. I have the minutes for the November 4th, 2025 Board of County Commissioners regular meeting. Corrections, deletions, or additions.
Nothing here.
I didn't see a thing.
My next item is for your consideration a club license renewal for American Legion Post number 97 Wilson Head Post located at 40772 Lambourne Road. I've received all necessary documentation. Fees and postings have been done. I've also contacted the sheriff and he has no issues or has had no issues with this license. Therefore, I would recommend the renewal of this.
He does have issues.
Not with this thing. This is an action item, gentlemen. What would be the will of the board on this one?
Well, I move that we approve the club license renewal for American Legion Post number 97 Wilson Head Post located at 40772 Lambourne Road, Paonia.
Second the motion.
Any further? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So done.
Thank you.
Thank you, Terry.
Okay, first on your agenda, County Treasurer Lisa Tafoya with the presentation of county held meetings.
Good morning, Commissioners and Robbie. I'm here this morning to present the annual report for county held liens and those that would be eligible for treasurer's deed. Currently, we hold 215 county held liens. 157 of those are mineral rights. 35 of those are manufactured homes and 23 of those are real property. The real property are the ones that are orange highlighted on the listing you received. Out of the 215, there are 19 that are 10 years and older, and those are the ones that we're kind of focusing on to get cleaned up. There was some discussion that they may move to a 15-year strike-off rather than the 30-year strike-off, so we need to clean up those older ones before those liens have to be canceled and start over.
Lisa, those 19, which are real, mineral, or manufactured?
On the list that you received, that's an aging list, so the years held is reflected in the furthest right-hand column.
Got it. Thank you.
28 of the newly added liens are at the very bottom of your list. Those came from our recent tax lien sale. 2 of those are real property. Both are possessory interests. Leasing agreements, we really have no control over those. And 26 of those were mineral rights. 11 require additional research and 15 of those just remained unsold from the sale. Are there any other questions?
I have none. Thank you for the report.
On the sale, could you give us a little more detail on that?
On the tax lien sale. So we held our tax lien sale. We had over 100 parcels that we sold. And out of that, these mineral rights were unsold. Everything else was sold.
Any other questions for Lisa on this one?
Excuse me, I don't have any.
Thanks, Lisa.
All right, appreciate your
That's
time.
not
Thank you.
Part of your job.
You could stay around for the rest of the meeting if you wanted to.
Is there a party? Have a good day.
Thank you.
We're going to move to item 3, board's consideration of resolution increasing Delta County E911 monthly surcharge effective February 1st, 2026.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
So we had a work session last week on this topic. As for the public record reminder that the board sits as the 911 authority per resolution created back in 1990. And one of the ways to fund the E911 fund, which is an enterprise fund, is the local emergency telephone charge, or ETC. There is only 2 times a year that the ETC can be increased, either effective February 1st or June 1st. And there is statutory deadlines of 60-day notice before that goes into effect. The ETC funds things in dispatch, such as dispatcher salaries, equipment and stuff. And the E911 fund is the way we fund capital upgrades in 911 dispatch. So the resolution before you is the consideration of if you want to increase the current surcharge, which is $1.97 per phone per month on telephone lines within the 911 service area for Delta County 911 to the threshold, which for 2026 will increase to $2.17 per line per month. Or if you want a different, lesser amount of increase, or if you want to stay the same. So currently $1.97, we're bringing in roughly $700,000 in revenue this year for the local ETC charge. You had asked me the run rates at $2, $2.05, $2.07, $2.10, and $2.17. So if you went up to the threshold of $2.17, that would be an increase of approximately $57,800 per year. 10-cent increase would be $2.07, and that's roughly $21,400 a year increase.
Questions for Chris on this? We did go through this pretty well at that work session.
And our coverage area goes into Gunnison and parts of Montrose.
Correct.
County too.
We covered to the top of McClure Pass, so all of Somerset, part of Kebler Pass in the muddy area of County Road 265 in Gunnison County, and then all of Mayer and southern Fruitland Mesa in Montrose County.
Chris or Sheriff Taylor, considering the capital requirements that are coming up for dispatch and others that these funds have to account for, what would be your recommendation for the rate?
I think the 911 authorities around us typically adjust to the threshold each year for inflation. So I would recommend that we go to the $2.17, which is the current threshold. Right now it's $2.05 for 2025, and it's increasing to $2.17 next year.
I would agree with Chris. You know, it's always difficult to raise fees and taxes for people that are already struggling, but the need for to keep on top of 911 services, you know, I think it's a needed evil that we need to kind of prepare for the future.
Chris, you might just elaborate of the estimated cost of the upgrade that we are looking at.
In roughly 5 years, we're looking at having to upgrade both the 911 phone system of how the actual equipment that runs 911 and then our radios for dispatch, which is estimated at this point to be around 1.3, $1.5 million, possibly more in 4 to 5 years. And I've got an email from the PUC yesterday that there's 3 911 authorities that are going for an above threshold waiver tomorrow at their PUC meeting. La Plata County is requesting an increase to $3.79. Routt County is asking for a $4 surcharge, and Morgan County is requesting to go up to $3. So, right now, as I showed on Monday, we're one of the lowest in the Western Slope currently.
Questions for Chris or Sheriff Taylor on this?
Why is La Plata County going up to $4? They just need it?
I haven't gotten any justification, just an email that said that the hearing's scheduled for tomorrow and that's what they're requesting. Probably cost of upgrades on equipment and cost of living and salary increases for dispatchers would be my guess.
Well, after our work session last week, I kind of walked away with the feeling that we need to go to the threshold. At this point, just the numbers are staggering. So if we just keep trying to build up the reserves, we at least have something there when the time comes for these increases. It's not a complete surprise. I'm sure it will be regardless, but I can't think of a good reason to not go to the threshold. And I also can't think of a good reason to go to the PUC and ask for more at this point, but I think we'd be foolish to not go to what we're allowed to go to at this point.
And the last time we increased this was 2022 when we went from $1 to $1.97.
Well, I would concur with Chris and the Sheriff and Commissioner Fuller here on this one. This is an action item again, gentlemen, so we will have a resolution.
You have a number on there?
It'd be 45.
Well, I make a motion that we adopt a resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of the County of Delta, State of Colorado, resolution number 2025-R-45, increasing the Delta County E911 emergency telephone charge effective February 1st, 2026, with the increase being to the threshold of $2.17.
I second that.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. John, do you have that resolution or Chris?
Printing that right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a minute to sign. Thank you.
Next is to ratify the warrants.
Chris, thanks for your hard work on that.
Did my computer work here? I move that we approve ratify the warrants from the various funds. Expenditures paid by warrant numbers 155757 through 156018 and ACH transactions 1248 through 1283 from October 1st, 2025 through October 31st, 2025, totaling $1,851,613.22 in accounts payable and $1,871,214.14 in monthly county human services and health department October 2025 payroll for items budgeted and approved per Delta County policy.
Authorized chair to sign.
And authorize the chair to sign.
I will second that motion.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay.
Okay, Lindsay, if you'll move forward with reviewing the commissioner schedule.
So today, after the meeting at 12:30, we have the public hearing for the 2026 budget.
Over 12:30.
12:30.
Thank you for that. Have 1:30 Road and Bridge work session, 3:30 Board of Health. The 19th at 6 p.m. we have the Cedar Ridge trustee and Delta County meeting. November 18th at, sorry, this went backwards, 9 a.m. is the AGNC Rifle Board meeting. The 20th at 3:30 is the OWTS variance for Ginger's Grove. November 20th at 3:30 is the Board of Health Special Medians variance. November 20th is 4 p.m. the North Fork High School grand opening. November 27th, 8 a.m. and November 28th, 8 a.m. through 5 p.m. All offices are closed for the Thanksgiving break holiday.
Lindsay, can we go back to the 20th?
Yes,
We've got a 3:30 Ventures Grove OWTS, 4 o'clock North Fork High School, and I've also got 4:30 as CDOT open house,
I think.
And that's at Heritage Hall. is that
Heritage
correct?
Hall for the Rogers Mesa project. Busy day.
Are we gonna divide and conquer, or are we gonna,
Well, you and I have to be at the board meeting.
that here?
Yeah.
Mhm.
At the Board of Health meeting, I mean,
Okay.
yeah. And then I don't know how long that'll take, and if we wanted to just scoot to the other meetings, but.
And I'll be at the high school briefly, going to CDOT.
How long is the thing at the high school gonna last, you know,
And probably an hour and a half.
open house, wasn't it?
Yeah, just depends on the new construction. Okay, go ahead, Lindsay.
All right, December 1st through the 3rd, the Colorado County Conference, Denver. So that will push our next Board of County Commissioners meeting to December 9th. December 10th is CEU Wednesday. December 10th at 2:30 is also for the Tri-County meeting.
At what time is it Tri-County?
We're holding that at 2:30, just as a whole for right now.
Okay,
And right now that's scheduled for Mesa County
Okay, thank you.
as the host.
oh, Mesa County is it?
Right.
Okay.
December 16th is the second Board of County Commissioners regular scheduled meeting. And at 1:30 that day is the Road and Bridge work session, and then at 3:30 is the Board of Health meeting. So that gets us to the middle of December.
Are you going to have Board of Health that day?
I think so.
Okay.
So that really gets us to mid-December until our next meeting.
Lindsay, I have on December 8th, 2 o'clock, Colorado River District work session. Did we finalize that?
We have not finalized it yet. We're waiting on finalization of the time. Or they want to do morning because they're soon has to fly out in the afternoon.
But he's, we'll get that finalized. He's looking at the 15th as well, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't see anything else.
You have anything else, Mike?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We had communicated to Judge Zarup that the item number 2, the consideration of Title 16 oversight of pretrial would occur around 9. Do you want to take a break until 9, or what is your preference? Oh, go ahead, Lynn.
Before we do that, let me read the detention facility reports. Delta County Sheriff's detention facility report for Monday, November 10th, 2025. Male inmates, county jail 28. Female inmates, county jail 4. Male inmates, Department of Corrections 2. Female inmates, Department of Corrections 1. Total of 35. Average daily inmate population for the week of November 3 through November 10 was 43.06. For Monday, November 17th, male inmates 29, female inmates 3, male inmates Department of Corrections 2, female inmates Department of Corrections 1. Again, total of 35. Average daily inmate population for November 10 through November 17th, 2025, 43.49. Thank you, Sheriff, Under Sheriff, for providing that. As we wait on Judge Zerip, we will take a quick recess until 9 o'clock. Thank you. Don? Well, it is 9 o'clock. We're going to come back on the record for November 18th, 2025. This is a discussion on the pretrial services and consideration of Title 16 oversight. Commissioner Fuller, you have been front and center on this issue. Could you take the lead on this discussion?
Well, Robbie and I actually sit on the advisory board, as do other members in the room here this morning. I've noticed, so we're thankful for everybody that's participated in this. We have attempted to look at this from every conceivable angle that we could. Sometimes the directives or the mandates that come down from the state are well-intended. Sometimes they come with funding to get them started. Sometimes they do not. This particular program, the funding mechanism is drying up. And so that's kind of why we're really zooming in on it and honing in on it to see what we could do to make it a viable program from this point forward, minus the funding that comes down from the grants and so forth. So we have, like I said, we've looked at this from every conceivable angle. We have talked hours with county judge, the sheriff, the under sheriff, Mike and his staff, heavily involved, obviously. District attorney's input has been valuable, as well as Chief Judge Jackson.
Probation.
I'm sorry,
Probation.
Yes, and probation. So we have had input from, like I said, every conceivable angle that we could think of. What we're trying to do here is figure out a way that this program can move forward and have some oversight and have some influence, continue to have influence like it has, but with some changes that are coming. And so what we're proposing is that the program move its oversight from the court side and away from the sheriff's office side. And what we are thinking about doing and proposing today is that it would land right here with this board, that with input from all of the aforementioned people, with a more than likely a disbanding of the current advisory board by order of Judge Jackson. A new advisory board would be formed with input from all sides, victim sides, law enforcement. Everybody would still have input into what this needs to look like. But the real drive here has been the cost, because we answer to the people of Delta County. That's our role here. And so we have to make sure that their voices are being heard. And so by moving the program in-house in this building, we are hopeful that all the parties that are involved will continue to work together, because this is not going to work if everybody doesn't continue to work together. And so what we're asking today is that we all give this a chance to work. We're not saying this is going to be perfect. We're going to need to make tweaks along the way as we go, for sure. But the basic program, the reporting that Mike and his staff do, will continue. It will be made available to the judge for his consideration as he looks at each individual case. We think that's an important component of this, so we want to keep that going. And yeah, there's still a lot of moving parts. We don't have an actual deadline drop dead on this yet. We will have that shortly, but we're anticipating somewhere around the first of the year, maybe a little bit into the new year, but not much beyond that at all, middle of January. So that's kind of where we've landed. We've talked about this, like I said, for hours, trying to figure out the best path forward. And we feel this is serving the needs of the program, the intent of the program, and yet still answering to the people that pay for the program. So with that, I will open it up for comments, discussion.
Mr. Chair, has any comment?
Mr. Chairman, do you have any comments?
I'm gonna ask Mike to go ahead and see. Where are you at on this, Mike? What are your thoughts?
I guess we could do it by resolution, have the county attorney drop a resolution to implement this. And it, like Commissioner Fuller said, it's not set in stone. We may have to tweak it along the way, and we may go back to something else. But since the funding has dried up, it's all on the taxpayers to fund this program. And as a Board of County Commissioners, for us to oversee it, I think is a good idea. And if the funding was still there, we may not have changed, we may have did something else, but where it all comes from the taxpayer now, it's a heavy burden. And the staff that's in place would probably stay in place. I don't see any specific changes in the staffing of it or the reporting, just who's going to oversee it and fund it.
Just a quick clarification, not all of the funding is drying up from the grants, just a portion. So we continue to still have some of the grant funding. Okay.
But I thought that expired.
But it's looking less and less likely for that grant
Okay.
funding, but just there is some grant
There is
funding
a
still
little
there
bit.
now, yeah. So just, yeah.
I do think there is a need for change here. And I've also visited with the sheriff and undersheriff and others on this, including Mr. Todd, who runs the program. And there's a lot of value in having a pretrial service program. But I do think it does need to have better victim representation and focus. I do appreciate the fact that those involved in this program continue to get the resources they need for whatever addictions or issues they're trying to face, mental health or others. And also the appropriate monitoring and get them back in front of the justice so that they can be accountable for their actions too. One of my concerns is taking it under the administration of Delta County is a big burden. And County Administrator LaValle is going to take on a lot of that. And that's a big lift, and we're here to support you. So please take advantage of us too if we go this way. So, but it would be my recommendation to this board that we ask County Attorney Baer to draw up a resolution reflecting the changes of pretrial services as discussed here today, and work with Robbie and Craig on the details of this resolution so we have a draft in front of us at our next BOCC.
See if the sheriff. See if the sheriff has anything to say.
Yeah, that's a good point. Sheriff Taylor, would you like to weigh in on this one? This affects you guys immensely too.
Yeah, I just have a short comment that I want to thank the board for your due diligence. This has been an issue that's come up. It's an important issue for the community, for law enforcement. So I appreciate the time that you took to consider this and looking at every avenue that you possibly could to make a proper decision. So.
Under Sheriff.
I think Delta County is unique and our approach to public safety needs to be unique. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach that comes from Denver. So I appreciate the fact that this program is going to remain. I think it's important. I think Mike and his team do an outstanding job. But I think it's important that it come under the oversight of the county and our approach to public safety rather than a one-size-fits-all approach.
Thank you. Mr. Todd, you got anything for us this morning as we consider this?
I just want to thank the board for taking all the time to thoroughly research this. I really appreciate all the work you've done and taking my input. And I just want to say that we may be moving away from the statute, changing the name, but our mission still remains the same. Providing the court with accurate information to make informed bond decisions, and most importantly, contributing to community safety here in Delta County.
Well, thank you for you and your team. This has been an unsettling time for you guys. And I appreciate all the input from your side, and also Robbie and Craig. They've put a lot of dedicated time into this. So. Mr. Bear.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Commissioners. I'm happy to put together a resolution that reflects the conversation today and have it available December 9th.
Thank you. Anything else this morning on this topic?
I don't think I have anything else to add. Anything, Robbie, that we've not covered or?
No.
I think maybe one more detail is important to mention here is that Delta County is the only county in the 7th district that has a current pretrial program, and we're only one of, I believe, 19 in the entire state that do so. We're kind of a rare breed, but I think that the state push to get this program across the board is what drove all this to begin with. And funding now is drying up, and we are looking at having to fund the Alliance portion of the bill ourselves. So all of those things weighed heavily into our decision making as well. So, but having said that, if there's no other comment, I will make a motion that we direct John Bear, County Attorney, to draft a resolution to have ready on the December the 9th meeting that reflects the conversation here this morning, and we move forward in the new year.
I second that.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thanks. And John, don't hesitate to reach out if you need some further detail on that.
Of course, thank you.
Thank you. Having finished commissioner business, we will recess until 10 o'clock for planning. Thank you, everybody. Well, at exactly 10 o'clock, we are going to come back online. This is the Board of County Commissioners regular meeting for November 18th, 2025. It's time for planning. I'll turn this over to Mr. Gardner.
Thank you, Commissioners. The first item on the agenda for us is to consider an amendment to a resolution pertaining to the preliminary plat approval for POC investments, project 25002.
And I will recuse myself as I have on all the previous actions.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mike. We'll come get you.
Okay.
The request is to remove two of the conditions, two of the 13 conditions, condition number 7 and condition number 13. I'll just kind of begin with condition number 13 as it was an error on my part. The Planning Commission, when they reviewed this, had added condition number 13, requesting that all roads be crushed asphalt or better in the subdivision. But at the commissioner's hearing, there was discussion about that, and the decision was to change that to allow for gravel roads. And I did not make that correction, and so that that condition number 13 get carried into the resolution, need to be removed. The simplest way to handle that. Condition number 7 was with regard to Testament Road, the intersection there. I think commissioners are all familiar with that. The traffic engineer that provided the traffic study made comment about that and how its alignment was non-typical. And so the county engineer had requested that the developer, contract the private engineer to come up with a solution, a redesign for the intersection. It was Delmont Engineering inspected the intersection and concluded that it was safe for use for visibility and so forth, but then asked the county what were the specifications for trying to determine what needed to be evaluated at the intersection and what were the standards for a redesign. Also, any potential redesign would implicate the ditch company and the irrigation culvert that runs through that area. Plus, it would implicate a private property owner through whom Mr. Brock has an easement to get onto that property. So it just had a lot of implications for a lot of parties that the engineer was asking the county to consider all these things and to provide guidance. And as we got multiple staff together and reviewed the situation and talked our way through it, we all came to a consensus that basically there wasn't much that could be done at the intersection to improve it. And due to the kind of conflicting professional engineering opinions, the traffic engineer that first made comment on it, and then Delmont that then later analyzed it and assessed it. And then the practical difficulties posed by private property rights and the major constraints presented by existing irrigation infrastructure and significant costs associated with a potential realignment. Staff just believed that the applicant's engineering report from Delmont Consultants provides sufficient assurance that the existing intersection is safe and functional for low traffic volume generated by the A-lot subdivision. But we as a county decided with Road and Bridge and engineering that to further mitigate vehicular safety concerns with the intersection, that Delta County would install proper signage and safety barriers according to standards as needed. So all that said, then we're just asking for the removal of condition number 7 in the resolution. And so those are the 2 removal requests. In your report is the engineering staff report regarding condition 7 in the intersection assessment. And I've also provided a draft resolution that basically removed those 2 conditions. If you approve the amendment, and staff is recommending the amendment of the resolution 2025 R30 to remove conditions number 7 and 13.
Questions?
I don't think I have any questions. I remember looking at this earlier on and questioning the intersection, but upon further study, I mean, it pretty much has come to light that this is probably not going to be able to be changed a lot, and a lot of hoops to jump through for not much gain. So if you look at the intersection map, it's not perfect, it's not ideal, it's not a true 90-90 like you'd want, but when you look at that southeast corner and you see how much stuff's in the way and how much that would interfere with having to move all that, and just to gain very little on that corner, on that southeast corner. And the line of sight, both up and down Testament Road is good, it's plenty. The driveway coming in from the west is probably the one that's most affected by the offset, but again, it's private drive, it's not going to see much use. Anybody with some due diligence, some careful driving ought to be able to navigate that. We like the idea of putting the signs up, and I don't know what you got in mind for around the irrigation structure itself, but I know we had talked about putting some, what do you call those things?
Chevrons.
Yeah.
Signs.
Is that still on the radar screen, you think, or?
I can't recall the exact specifications that the engineering road bridge had come up with. I don't know if you can.
So the theory was to create delineator posts with the 3 round reflectors to delineate where that particular area of infrastructure is, just to give a warning. Not so much the sign with the chevron, actually some delineating posts with 3 reflectors on each to definitely indicate don't drive in there.
Okay.
So how much is Delta County going to invest in signage and barriers here?
I don't have a dollar figure for you.
And why is that the county's responsibility?
I don't have an answer for that.
Is there potential for further development of the lots out there or other adjoining properties? And what happens when the average daily trips increase from 80 to 160?
The subdivision has a stewardship area that is restricted from further subdivision for at least 20 years. And then there's 8 lots in the subdivision, and any more than that would require all kinds of road improvements. You need a second point of access to the subdivision. So unlikely that you would be seeing future development out there on the basis, unless it came with, concurrent road improvements and another point of access.
I see Mr. Brock's here today. Is there anything you'd like to add to this discussion, Mr. Brock?
I think that Sean's.
Come on up front and please introduce yourself. Thank you.
Yeah, no, Sean's correct. I'd have to purchase another egress to be able to do further development. That parcel that we did the 8 lots on is surrounded by a stewardship area. There is no further development there for at least 20 years. So there's not going to be an increase in traffic off that property.
This intersection has been an issue since the start of this whole project. And I'm sure we got 50 of them just like that elsewhere in the county, but this is the one we're concerned about today. I understand, Sean, your recommendation here, but it's a tough one. John, what liability does, by accepting this engineer's report for the traffic study and the conditions of the intersection, what liability is now on the county and on the developer here?
Well, it's kind of like the question, can somebody sue over this?
Of course.
And the answer is someone can always sue. You do have a situation here where you have, you have a professional engineer has deemed this adequate. I think you have another professional engineer that has brought up some questions. It is not an ideal intersection. I think mitigating the concerns the way that some of them have been, and I understand that at least the tailwater ditch has been mitigated, removed a little bit, I guess, which addresses some of that. The other is a head gate that I believe is owned by Progress Valley Water Users. So there's very little that honestly the county or the developer could do with that. I'll just repeat my continued concern with this entire situation is that it's been incrementalized and there's been a project creep with this that, initially the special events venue with stewardship area under certain circumstances. And then I believe that those circumstances changed and there was something opening up, even though that property was under a restriction. Then we get to a point of, okay, there's also going to be a subdivision here, 8 lots. I don't know. And that's the concern that I've always had with this is this incrementalism and okay, maybe this poor intersection is okay for this, but then it's this and it's this and it's this, so. But at this point, I don't know that there's a whole lot that can be done with that intersection.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would add to that is we did go and have a professional engineer look at this, evaluate it. He said there's no safety concerns on his behalf. He was willing to write a letter and stamp it
I saw
to
that.
put his name on the line that everything was there. And, you know, there wasn't a lot of concern with this intersection when we put in the event venue. We're adding 8 houses or 8 potential houses over the next 10 years or however long it takes to do that. So it's really a very minimal amount of trips or added traffic to that intersection.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Sean, I agree with you that the STIP number 7 can easily be mitigated there, but this intersection, it still bothers me. But we do have a professional engineer's opinion on this, so. It'd be my recommendation, we follow the recommendations of the planning department and approve this resolution.
I would agree. I think it's the very same things that you just talked about. You know, there's nothing perfect about that intersection, or will there ever be something perfect about it? Earlier on, there was discussed the possibility of using that subdivision to the east of the road coming in. Maybe some sort of understanding with them that could be utilized, but that probably is never going to happen. So we got this, we got an engineer to look at it. So I'm inclined to agree that
Go to page 19 on that.
19. There you go. Thank you. Number
46.
46. I'll make a motion to adopt resolution number 2025R-46. Resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of the County of Delta, State of Colorado, resolution amending resolution 2025R-30, conditionally approving project 25-002 Proc Investment LLC, cluster subdivision located at 1580 Road and Bronco Court in Delta.
I'll step down and second that. Is there any further discussion on this, Commissioner?
I have none.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So done. Back to you, Sean.
All right, well, then the next item on the agenda is the consideration of the final plat approval for the same project 25-002, the clustered subdivision. I thought I'd just go through each of the conditions for final plat approval, and then you could just stop me and interject if you have any questions about them. This is a clustered subdivision, so it's required to have a stewardship area with a recorded stewardship plan. And our review of the final plat is found it meeting all of the requirements. Let's see, I'll just go through each of the final plat requirements one by one here. The first requirement is that the final plat has to be submitted within 12 months of the preliminary plat approval, and it meets that condition. Number 2, all existing and proposed easements and encumbrances have been shown on the final plat. Number 3, proof of adequacy of water supply is required for preliminary plats and must be listed on the final plat. So water taps of Tri-County have been purchased for all lots in the subdivision and installed. Number 4, access permits shall be issued for each lot within the subdivision. We have access permits for all lots in the subdivision and inspected and approved by county engineering. Number 6 or number 5, prior to final plat, maintenance agreements for 1580 road board shall be provided for ongoing maintenance. So we have a maintenance agreement that's been drafted, read it. The event center is also a party to the maintenance agreement along with 8 lots in the subdivision. And so that's ready to be signed by me and recorded with the final plat. Number 6, prior to accepting a final plat, a minimum of 1 additional fire hydrant. In addition to the existing hydrant that was at the entrance of 1580 Road from Testament shall be installed in the subdivision. That's been installed as well, and verified, and it's marked on the plat where it's at. Number 7. Yeah, we just discussed condition number 7. And we'll be recording the amended resolution before the recording of this plat to account for its removal. And then number 8, prior to recording the final plat, the plat must include a plat note explaining rights to irrigation water. The final plat must include the number of shares for each lot. There is going to need to be a separate document for this. It's a little difficult to get that kind of an outcome with Uncompahgre Valley Water Users Association. There are 15 shares allotted for the HOA that's over the 8 lots, and then 20 shares of the stewardship area. So, but the allotment of water, as I understand it, carries with acreage, and so how much specific water goes to each lot is determined by Uncompahgre Valley Water Users Association. That's written on the plat that's in the HOA agreement. So I believe that's accounted for, but it doesn't specifically say lot 1 will have so much shares of water.
Does the plat then reference a separate HOA agreement?
Yes,
And has that agreement been developed yet?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Prior to accepting, and number 9, prior to accepting a final plat by deeds, we have deeds for all 8 of the lots in the subdivision and stewardship area. Number 10, final plat shall include standard plat notes required by the 2024 Land Use Code. All of those standard plat notes are accounted for. Number 11, limitations on the use of or development activities within the stewardship area shall be set forth using annotations on the final plat or by cross-reference to recorded covenants, deed restrictions, or conservation easements. A stewardship plan, as agreed by the county, shall be recorded and deed restricted for 20 years, describing a plan for the property owners managing of the stewardship area for at least 20 years. All that has been accounted for. We have a stewardship plan. I put together sort of a template for how those could be drafted so as to account for all the things that are required in the land use code. So check that. It's been cross-referenced on the plat. So the stewardship area requirements are accounted for. And then number 12, the applicant shall pay public sites open space fee of $300 per lot for an increase of 8 lots per resolution 2021 R007. The open space fees for the project should be paid in full. Now, this is a condition that's written in here, but it was my understanding that the commissioners had made a decision a while back that we're not charging open space fees anymore.
That's correct.
So I don't know how to necessarily handle that in the condition as they're written.
It's still in the land use code.
It is until we can update the land use code.
We can waive this fee right now.
And then number 13 is the last remaining condition, which we just discussed in the amendment to the resolution to remove it. And so do you have any questions about any of those?
I do not. I was looking for the location of the fire hydrant, but I guess I just got it
In lot one.
northeast corner.
I think it's near lot 7, getting near Bronco Court. It's pretty small. You have to zoom in on the PDF pretty close to see the symbol. It's on the 3rd page of the final plat, which is the page with all the utilities and a legend on there showing where it's at. But I did see it.
You did see it? I'll take your word for it. I mean, there's somewhere, I'm just not.
It's like a little circle with 2 antennas up out of the top of it.
My favorite Martian looking thing.
Yeah, a Martian looking thing.
My favorite Martian. Not just any Martian. Okay.
So if you don't have any other questions or comments about that, then staff is recommending commissioners accept the final plat for PLN 25002. There's a map. I forgot to. I'm not good at talking and clicking at the same time. But accept the final plat for PLN 25022 Rock Investments LLC, Longhorn Ridge subdivision, and authorize the chair to sign the final plat.
Down there somewhere.
Commissioner Fuller, anything else?
I don't think I've got anything else to add or any further questions.
Mr. Brock, anything else to add on this one?
No, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Bear?
Nothing.
It'd be my recommendation to the board to accept the recommendation from planning to approve the final plat, also including waiving the fee as indicated in condition 12.
I would get back to the front here. Where are we at? I'm not seeing the resolution in here. Is it in here?
No, it's not a resolution on this one.
Oh, you're just doing the
plat.
plat.
Yeah,
Okay.
accepting.
I will concur with that. I will make a motion. Did you make a motion?
No, you make the motion.
I'll make the motion that we accept the final plat for the subdivision in question.
Longhorn Ridge.
PLN 25-002, Rock Investments LLC. I don't see the address here, but it's there somewhere.
And waiving the fee as
Waiving the
indicated.
fee as in
Open space fee.
open space fee, whatever number that was,
12.
12 on the original plat,
And authorized chair to sign.
and authorized chair to sign.
Step down and second this. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so done. Is that plat here ready to sign?
It is,
When we finish up, we'll get to it.
yeah.
Could you go get mine?
Yep.
Thank you. Go ahead, Sean.
Okay, the last item on the planning agenda is this is PLN 25051 Ecogen Biosciences minor plat. Minor plat, of course, is an administrative review, but this one has a right-of-way dedication. It's right off B50 road. And so there's a resolution from 2009 pertaining to master road plan, and that section of B50 road has a minimum right of way of 50 feet on each side of the center line. So to process this minor plat, we need to first accomplish this dedication of the right of way, and that's what we're here for. And so let's see. It's the total. Yeah, so We're recommending the commissioners accept the quitclaim deed with the legal description dedicating right of way corresponding with the existing B50 road, totaling 0.155 acres within the subject parcel to Delta County for public right of way. And authorize the chair to sign the final.
Tell us a little bit more about the metal building and the Quonset hut encroachment here.
Yeah, it's encroaching. I don't know what the
So
percentage is.
it encroaches with this right of way that we are putting into this dedication. There is approximately 50 feet of encroachment within that setback area. And then also part of this on the plat, one of the things mentioned is that if either metal building or the Quonset is more than 50% destroyed, it shall not be reconstructed within the right of way area and the 25-foot setback. So that issue will be indicated on the plat that if something happens to the buildings that they cannot be put back in the right of way, but they're being documented on the plat as encroachment to that right of way.
How old are those two buildings? How long they've been there?
I think since the inception of the
So they weren't recently built within the right,
no, sir.
proposed right away.
They've been there since the project started. I think it was Ecogen Biosciences is here. I mean, you might be able to tell us a little more about how.
Please join us, introduce yourself. Welcome.
Hi, Keith Ellers, representing Ecogen Biosciences here. So yeah, those were both legacy buildings. The Quonset hut is just that, it's a Quonset hut. It has had some significant electrical and lighting and that kind of stuff put forth there. There were some welding stations put in there, so that kind of infrastructure. The other one has, it's fully HVAC. It's been tidied up to be a real building. So, this is one of those where, do we love this? No, I don't love this. I understand needing to have additional right of way based on the circulation plan. We do, so we're going along to be compliant. But yeah, these buildings and the leach field and then the irrigation line that runs along that road, are all factors that will have to be mitigated at some point in the future. But I think it's safe to say as well that improving B50 road into that 100-foot right of way for some major corridor is probably a long time in the future. And the zoning doesn't seem to be as such that anything down the road would be triggering major intersection improvements there that would trigger turn lanes or anything along those lines. So as far as we know, our compliance is certainly based on, we think we have to do this. And we don't see that it's going to disrupt the use of that, whether it be change of use or otherwise. Because at the end of the day, that's what's spurring this, is splitting that larger complex into two to make them more palatable for purchasers. And they, of course, want to be able to use those buildings. So as long as those remain intact, that's kind of where we're at there.
This isn't the first encroachment that we've dealt with here. A lot of legacies out there.
I bet.
So yeah, I appreciate it. Other questions, commissioners?
I have none.
Who determines if they're 50% damaged and not repairable?
You mean if there's gonna be a 50% renovation, is then that?
Well, no, I think
Whoever was talking
That
about
is
it.
50% destroyed.
Well, I mean, half is half. I mean,
That would be engineering.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's there right away.
I think we bring Mike back out of retirement and let him make that call.
Would that be value or physical structure?
physical, I guess. I don't know.
What did planning have in mind with that stipulation?
Well, this is engineering doc memo. And I don't really know how you would determine what's 50% destroyed.
Well, I think the concern here is it's a physical right of way. So I would imagine 50% of the building, again, point is to get it not in the right of way again. So I would imagine theirs is built on a mechanical scale.
I wonder if there's an insurance stipulation that says if something is a certain age and it's more than 50% destroyed, it gets demoed and rebuilt. Because you could theoretically burn the roof off of an entire building and leave the walls intact. Would that be a 50% destruction of the building. Well, if you don't got a roof over your head, you're pretty well out of business, so. That may reach the 50% threshold, but then that would mean that the walls would have to get moved to rebuild the roof. So it's a little bit of a gray area there, but maybe we just leave that to the insurance adjuster at that point and just and make that call.
I would agree with Everett that it'd be a physical 50%, not a monetary value, because that'll fluctuate over the years. And it is physically tied to the right of way. Does that seem appropriate to you, Mr. Elders?
I believe so, right? All of these are good questions. We've certainly been wrestling with them. And whether somebody can, maybe they want to add a little office or something, or just kind of put some walls inside to be able to utilize it. But we hope it's our understanding that does not trigger this, that this is a damage and replacement, not a change of use and improvement. And then the only other question that remains is, do we have a choice? If there's another option to not encroach on this, of course, we're interested, but it is our understanding that there is not. So I appreciate the clarification on these things, though. It's great for the record should something come up. Thank you.
I had one more question for you. It's kind of off topic a little bit. What does Ecogen Biosciences do?
So originally this was built by General Processing, and they were a hemp entity that did the farm as well as the processing. Ecogen then bought that to mostly focus in on the processing, and they were a regional hub for the processing. When their parent companies had some issues that changed things up, this was a supply chain mechanism for them that went away. For what it's worth, right, as far as Western Colorado influence on that industry, the price of CBD went up 32% in 3 months when that facility shut down. So it was a meaningful and good employment, things of that nature. So they have not been operational for about 2 years, trying to sell that facility in this location. You're asking off topic, but it's really helpful. Workforce seemed to be the biggest factor in filling a facility of that size for companies who could use the whole thing. And so meeting with the planning department, we did find that there were entities that had an appetite for, if we could break it into half, because there's 2 very large buildings there. So that's kind of been the process working through, and so this will help facilitate that. Half of that property is under contract, and the other property is the other half is fully leased out. And so we're getting back into putting jobs and putting revenue centers into that, and then we'll be able to satisfy a lot of back debt that this whole situation has caused as far as tax liens and things of that nature. So it's very complex.
Thank you for that thumbnail explanation. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I move that we accept a quitclaim deed with the legal description dedicating right-of-way corresponding with the existing B50 road totaling 0.155 acres within the subject parcel to Delta County for public right-of-way, and authorize the chair to sign the final plat.
I will second the motion.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, so done.
May I ask one clarifying question on that? The approval of receiving the quitclaim right now is just saying that you approve the receipt when the time comes. We're not issuing that quitclaim right now until we record the plat, correct?
Correct.
Okay, great.
Thanks.
We don't have the plat quite ready yet.
Okay.
But we will here shortly, and it is a bit of a complex recording closing arrangement.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Good
Thank
luck
you.
to you, Mr. Eckler.
Thank you.
That's it. That's all we have on the plan.
Thank you, Sean,
Thank you.
and your staff.
You've got no event venues to make for us?
Not today.
Early Craig.
Boring.
We are at 10:36. We had planned for human services at 10:30. Has anybody seen Annie? Okay.
Thank you, Janet.
Welcome, Janet. Good morning, Annie.
Good morning.
How come I don't get a red Delta County? Oh,
So how come I don't get a
Delta
red
County,
Delta
that's pretty sharp.
County? Hezzy.
I like Yeah.
The green one? Yeah. Oh. It's I can't do that.
Well, good to see you all. We will turn it over to you now for Human Services.
Perfect. Well, good morning. We are going to start with the most exciting thing of the day. So if we want to have Janet introduce, you know them, I would assume, but want to make sure to introduce yourselves to the board if you'd like, and then I'll talk a little bit about why we're here today. Okay.
Lisa McJennett, I'm the Western Slope Director for Project 127, located down in Mesa County. Janet Rule, Project 127 here in Delta County.
So as you know, we have partnered with Project 127 for the recruitment and retention for foster homes and kinship homes in Delta County. But along with that came what's called the Care Portal. The Care Portal is a service in which caseworkers and our TANF case managers and community partners can come together and meet the needs that children have within our community. So for example, if a grandma's taking in a couple of kiddos but needs beds or needs food or school clothes, things like that, they can put the request in and have the need met by the community. And so as a part of that, Janet provided a lot of outreach and has connected churches and community service organizations to the county to provide these needs. So just for stats and numbers, the Care Portal launched in Delta County in June of 2025. Total children served so far year to date is 43. Average served per month is 14. They have a wonderful dashboard where you can get these stats. And the economic impact for first year up to date is $24,020 that has gone to our community to meet children's needs. So we had an opportunity through Cassell, which is our software program for payroll, in which they offered up to submit an organization that you thought was doing profound things in the community and enter them into a process in which it was nationwide, I think, right? They submitted organizations nationwide. We were chosen as, let's back up. We nominated Project 127 and the Care Portal and what all they're doing, and we won second place. And so that means we get to give them a beautiful check of $1,500. Yes, we want to make sure to get a picture with you guys and Janet and Lisa. And
it was out of 81 applicants too. And
do you want to give it to them?
yeah.
You guys gotta come up here. Janet, you gotta send
There we go. You know what it all together.
1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Started off our day great.
Yeah. And you guys.
Take the one to one bank, take that one to another bank.
Nice way to start off our day. And then we'll move on to financials with Nicole.
Here's the payables report. There is a correction, on what was submitted. There's just one check that didn't get included, the very first one. So this is the update. The only things to note on the payables, I think, is just the amount of travel. These are all for the new caseworkers and, it's 100% reimbursable from the state. So we just submit that when they pay us after.
What kind of training?
All the new caseworkers?
Oh,
I'm not-
Caseworker Training Academy. So they had to go to La Junta. So the training academy for the state for a caseworker in child welfare currently, they don't have any regional sites and they're being held either in Arapahoe County or La Junta. They're hoping in the next year to extend that. We've offered up the Rubidoux room for those purposes, and so is Montrose, their war room, I like to call it. And so we'll see if we get a regional site, but we originally have to pay ahead and then the state reimburses.
To go to the La Junta, you have to go through Swink.
Yes.
It's about 3 reimbursements per caseworker. So 9, I think 9 total. So have them, I can do them. Is there any questions on the payable? Okay, so for our budget, where we are, should be 75% through September. We're at 77.4. The largest kind of deviation there you can see is in client direct and county portion of EPT. That's because primarily we paid 2 payments of the TANF education MOU out in September. And that is where we pay that up front, and then the state reimburses us through settlement. That's that. And also that we had to create the claim for the Florida placement. So we're still waiting to get reimbursed. I think it's $106,000 for that placement. Yes. And we'll keep 20% of that as county, and then 80% goes back to the state.
So who paid that, the 106, does that come from the feds?
For Abom,
Yeah, for the placement.
80% of that will be paid from the state. It's paid through our trail system, and then they usually collect the 20% through settlement that happens each month with all the programs. And so when we get the reimbursement, we'll process the check and collect all of it, then they'll take back their 80%.
And that's due to them becoming a Medicaid certified provider through HCPF. And so we had originally paid that placement cost. And then once they became certified, then they have to go back and then rebuild to HCPF. So that's the reimbursement we're waiting for.
And it's supposed to take 2 weeks, but they've had issues with the portal. So they're still waiting. Is there any questions on where we are in the budget? We're about where we were last year, so nothing I could note too different.
Oh, you're doing a good job with this reporting.
I was lucky that my predecessor set it up pretty organized.
Do you tell her that out loud?
Everyone too nice to me. For LEAP, it did start November 1st. Just to give a little comparison of where we are, we're not too off. We're at 725 total applications now. At this time last year, we were at 723. So haven't seen too much of a difference, but statewide, they're at 49,000, and last year we were about 52. So I think it's just that it's not as cold yet. But Tatiana said when it starts to get cold, like yesterday, she already got a bunch more applications. So we should hope to see those trickle through.
We still haven't seen any memo come through yet also about the outreach. So we're still waiting to see if we'll receive that funding. We'll see.
How much money are you expecting for the outreach part?
Last year, I believe it was 20,000. And so we utilized that for all of the things we, sent out, whether it was the postcard pieces and the shirts and the homecoming game stuff and all of those things. It's just advertising. And then we use some of that for internal billing pieces too.
We made little cards
I remember that.
give to the utility, so if they can send those with bills or overdue bills, we can help that way. And then we got hot hams for the Christmas parades coming up, just kind of an idea because of the cold. I think we're gonna try and make the Crawford one, the Delta one, and I think Cedar Ridge has like a Christmas event. And we're gonna try and get all of those. So we're maxing.
Running, TV ads too, I saw them.
Nice.
On there.
Montrose is.
No, Mason County.
Mason.
So for these, so that's a dream.
And we had purchased those things with our previous allocation outreach, so we're just waiting to see if we'll get one for each. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions on financials, Fox? No. Okay. Next thing is the merit system certification. So every year, it used to be every year, it's now every 2 years. The board is asked to sign the county personnel and merit system. And that is a certification of compliance that says we follow hiring rules, we follow personnel rules for promotional, all those types of things. It's required in statute. And so as a part of that, HR and the Department of Human Services ensures that we're complying with all functions for that as part of federal and state law. So if you have any questions about that, it also talks about, so the process for hiring, promoting government employees based on qualifications and matches kind of the Equal Pay Act piece. And so in 2022, they did an audit that determined we didn't have to do it every year. So it's every other year now. So this is the County Personnel and Merit System certification of compliance that we would ask the board to sign off on.
And this is an action item, gentlemen. Any questions on this one? Though?
So just the chairman needs to sign this? Okay.
Yes.
On one line, yep.
Well, there's 2 lines, one to
Oh,
print and one to sign.
you're right.
No.
Well, I'll make a motion that we, write the chairman sign the CDHS certificate of compliance for years 2026 to 2027, county personnel and merit system. Authorize chair to sign. Did I mention that? I think I did.
And I second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Right. So done.
Thank you.
He's our certification officer, so if you need any more help with compliance
Certified,
issues,
right?
just go see him. He is signing away.
Perfect.
I can't even spell compliant.
Well, we follow it, I promise.
No qualms about that statement. We know you do.
Annie, what else you got us for?
So the next piece, just to capture a few things that are happening, we completed our HCPF management evaluation. I do think our county was very lucky to have gone through it in the cycle that we did versus 3 years ago, in which counties were writing 30 policies within a month. They eliminated a lot of those steps, and so we actually didn't have to go through kind of the scrutiny as they modified how they did their evaluation review over those last couple of years. It did have like 260 questions that we had to answer about process, procedure. And so now we're just waiting for the final report to come, if there's any cure items or things to pull from there. There is some financial fiscal piece in which they pulled some of our entries, and so Nicole submitted those pieces, and we're just waiting to see if there's anything we need to cure. So with HR1, SNAP policy changes were implemented November 1st. So that required all of our eligibility technicians to receive their training by October 31st. So they all had to go through some of that training. It is a change to how they are interpreting the work requirements for able-bodied individuals without dependents, correct? Because I always want to say with disabilities, but that's a separate category. So with dependents or without dependents. So they had to go through that training, completed those pieces, and then that's just a part of implementation of HR1 that came across. I don't know if there's anything you want to add to that?
No, it's just a kind of a last minute thing that they threw at us, and we had, what, maybe 4 days to get it done, all of us. So it was kind of frustrating, but we got it done.
Did it? Yep.
So tell us more about the SNAP benefits, where we're at.
So now they're in a place of issuing full benefits. So originally, when they said, we originally thought 2 Fridays ago that we were able to to issue all of them. CDHS started running their batch at 1 p.m. and then they heard information at 2 p.m. that they had to stop because of the change in, I think, the Supreme Court ruling. By the time that happened, 39,000 cases across the state had run for full benefits. The other 540,000 had not. And so those were temporarily put on hold until then a decision came in Sunday night into Monday, in which guidance said 65% would be going through. And so at that time, CDHS and Deloitte were working with how does the system process that in a system level, because a technician can't be processing that as an individual case. They would need to do it as a total system fix. And while they were trying to figure that piece out, new guidance came in again that then when the federal government opened up and that piece was signed, then it went to full benefit issuance. So that has started happening. We were able to see that of the 39,000 individuals that received full SNAP benefits on that Friday, about 86 of them were in Delta County. And so now we're in full issuance. And so that's where it stands now. But we did have people coming in, asking, and so we provided them as much guidance as possible. But I think across the state, it was very confusing for someone to get one, the neighbor to not, and not understand what was going on with that piece of it. So, yeah, so now we're in full issuance at this point.
And so all of Delta County residents that qualify for SNAP have received full benefits.
Yeah, so if they were already on an ongoing case, then that full benefit that they normally would have received, that issuance went out. If they applied after October 15th, then that piece is still, if it hasn't been already approved, it could be still in the pending piece, just waiting for the verification or the eligibility approval.
The re-enrollment requirement that we keep hearing about, what's that going to do for our citizens?
For re-enrollment for which? For SNAP?
I've heard but I'm not hearing anything from the state. They haven't passed that down to us just yet.
Right.
So I'm not sure what that's gonna look like. If that happens, that's gonna be a huge workload for us.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so the techs have talked about it and we've heard a little piece about it, but we haven't heard anything from CDHS on it. So no guidance yet.
I think one aspect of why they are wanting people to reapply is because the amount of dead people getting benefits still.
Yeah.
Stuff, the news comes out with this and yes, that can possibly happen. A lot of it is the rules for SNAP. So if you're in once you're certified for a 6-month certification period, there are only certain things that can close the case. And sometimes if someone dies, it doesn't always close the case immediately. So it does kind of trail a couple of months before it actually gets it closed.
I see.
It's just the way the system's made to work. So it does appear that yes, sometimes people are getting benefits, but it isn't always because it's at the fault of the county or, nobody's reporting it. It's because it's just the way the system just is designed to work.
And the benefits are good until July, then they have to be refinanced again?
I think they're good for, did they not approve it for a year or?
A year.
A year.
Did they? Okay.
And with some of those changes, I think looking at the governor's budget, there are proposals that are being submitted from CDHS and HCPF about changes to SNAP and MED in order to reduce the clawbacks from federal money, as well as keep our error rate down. So the state and counties aren't having to contribute as much, which they will be having to contribute at some point, a certain level, but your error rate is going to depend on that. So there are some processes that they're working on implementing. And so as we work through some of those meetings specifically that during this week, then we'll be able to present what those are. And I can talk to you more about those as well, probably in a work session. All right, moving on to child welfare. This month is National Adoption Month. And so the Colorado Department of Human Services website does recognize certain families throughout the year. And one of the families that they recognized was a Delta County resident. And so we're pretty honored to see that recognition for her and for her family. And so pretty exciting that she was selected out of 8. Let's see. We talked about the care portal and the utilization of that. I think it's pretty significant to look at that $24,000 number that the care portal is helping with, as those would have been needs that would have come out of our allocations to help those families with. So that's a huge saving factor for us. Is there anything you want to add?
Nope, not for that. It's just been really easy to use and coming from a different county to have something like this set up and be so organized, it's been super helpful for our caseworkers to get pretty quick aid to some of the families that we're.
And hopefully making long-term connections. I think the nice part about it too is it isn't necessarily facilitated by the department either. And so it allows that community member, an individual, family, grandparent, parent, connect and build and establish a relationship as well for ongoing support. Updates with adult protection. The state announced a new caregiver resource page. So we sent that out. I think Lindsay sent it out through social media as well. We sent it out through Reachwell, and it's about a list of statewide low-cost free resources that are available for caregivers, which is pretty significant for families and for older adults. And then we've just more recently been having some community collaborating meetings along with our adult protection teams to address some of our high-risk adults in the community that have some pretty specialized needs and how we can ensure safety for the community and for the individual who's just struggling with getting their basic needs met sometimes. Anything you want to add for adult protection?
No, I think that's covered it.
Any questions? Oh, I have one more thing. We are having our huge Thanksgiving event on Thursday. And so that's 11:30 to 1:30. We've sent it to all department heads. There'll be 2 turkeys, 2 hams, lots of sides. So please have your staff come enjoy, eat, celebrate with the staff. I think we opened it up this year to also acknowledge, I think Human Services is grateful for everything that the county does and for other departments. And we don't get to always see and work with other departments. So be a nice event to just get together as a county. So we're sharing.
We're looking forward to it. We really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Big.
So we're excited. So we hope to see you there.
This smoked turkey and an oven turkey, and yeah, it'll be a lot.
Cranberries?
I believe so, they're on the list.
I think there's 2 cranberry things on this. I think there's 2.
It's regular cranberry.
It's gonna be a lot.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about Albert?
Yes, so there is a piece where we actually are going to be planning at a later time for that piece because there's been just a little bit of change to some things. And so it will just be a turkey feast on Thursday and we'll make a plan in the future.
So you denied his retirement?
100%. Yes, yes. He got the denied stamp right on his desk.
In your email, it said he was going to retire in January 25.
Oh, 25?
Yeah.
Oh, one typo. 26. January 15th, like that, that pay period piece is when he's thinking. So, so we'll see. I don't know, but that's his plan. But there is, you know, an approval stamp, deny stamp. You can be a part of the deny too.
Send it over, we'll give it.
So that means full denial. You cannot go anywhere.
You're shut down.
So that's all we have for today.
Questions for Annie and her team?
I don't know. Thank you for all
My
your.
question is, how do you do it?
Caffeine and food, lots of snacking. We have lots of food over there. If you walk over there, like right now, there's cinnamon rolls. Yeah, that their food exists always. That's how we keep them going.
How many open positions are you carrying right now?
So we have 3 in eligibility and we are not actively hiring those right now in a way to help kind of balance with our allocations and just see if we can get through with not actively hiring them, just to hold on to them a little bit and see. But with all these changes coming, we don't know what's happening. So we're trying to be conservative, but also be respectful that we don't want to overwork our staff either. So trying to maintain that balance right now. And one of them we had really essentially kind of vacant for a little bit because the childcare wasn't able to hold a full position. And so we have that working with 2 of our TANF case managers right now. So.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you all for what you're doing here. I look forward to seeing you on Thursday. And sampling Nicole's cranberry dish.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing the turkey. I was the pressure.
Did you both turkey? Both and regular?
Oven one. The smoked one is by our professional caterer, from Cloud Support and her husband.
We're even more looking forward.
Gonna be good. We've got some great baking artists and cooking artists in there. Yep. All right. See you Thursday. Thank you.
We're a little bit 11:01, 11 o'clock, it's kind of get pretty time. Mr. Bear, can we take a 2-minute comfort? Of course. Thank you.
Stretch your deep break.
Very good, it is 4 after 11. We'll turn this over to County Attorney, Mr. John Bear.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Commissioners. I have 4 items for the board's consideration this morning. The first being the board's consideration of a resolution authorizing the sale and the county attorney to sign closing documents for real property located at to be determined West 5th Street in Delta, Colorado. This is in regard to a very small triangle. We've been referring to it as the triangle parcel over here by the truck route, just kind of not far from where we're sitting here. This is this parcel was effectively orphaned when the truck route was established in those rights of way, the city and that sort of thing back a little while, a number of years ago. Ultimately ended up in a tax sale. Delta County took ownership of that, and the city is interested in this parcel for ultimately for location, likely location of a traffic signal, but they need to have it. So this is directly across the street from the elevator, effectively, and it's a tiny little triangle.
Tiny, 0.1 acres. I didn't see that anywhere.
Well, it's in the description. Yeah, that the assessor has it 0.1 plus or minus. Happy to answer any questions. We're working with the city of Delta. This contract has already been signed by them.
So if we don't want a signal there, we just deny this and life goes on and the trucks can continue to zoom across their.
No comment.
No comment. Okay.
That would be number 47.
47.
47.
I mean, it's 46. Go ahead.
That's right. Well, I move that we authorize resolution number 2025R-47, authorizing sale and for the county attorney to sign closing documents for real property located at to be determined West 5th Street in Delta, triangle property adjacent to the truck route.
And authorize county attorney there.
That's part of the resolution. Oh. That language is in the resolution. Okay.
I will second the motion.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Nobody has a problem with traffic lights.
Did it show?
Start with you. This is the resolution. And then Wendell, you get to sign the resolution and the contract. Very good. You have a little bit there. Sure. So seller signature would be
24 pages to sell 0.1 acres plus or minus.
Yeah, it's crazy. The standard forms now. Well, we sold, well, this is vacant land. Yeah, vacant land. It's the way it is. All righty, thank you. The second item I have for the board's consideration this morning is a resolution authorizing purchase and for the county attorney to sign closing documents for real property located at to be determined Hotchkiss, Colorado. This is lot 2 of the Carpenter East subdivision. Just as a reminder for the board, This essentially is Carpenter family owns two parcels that are effectively what commonly referred to as H Hill in Hotchkiss. The Miners Trail kind of runs along the bottom of that, and so what the county is doing is purchasing Miners Trail in that south of the parcel. We've already taken care of the parcel that is entirely in unincorporated Delta County. This parcel is located within the town limits of the town of Hotchkiss. So just last week, the town of Hotchkiss approved the division of this land. And so now we're just kind of finalizing that and contracting with the Carpenters to purchase that southern part of their property, if you want, and what is now referred to as Lot 2. I'm happy to answer any questions.
And this is something I asked county attorney to follow up on. The trail essentially isolated that parcel and was no longer useful for the Carpenters. And again, it's vacant land. Any other questions for John or myself on this one?
I will make a motion that we adopt resolution number 2025R-4048. Authorizing the purchase and for the county attorney to sign closing documents for real property located at PBD Hotchkiss, Colorado, Lot 2 of the Carpenter East subdivision.
I second that.
Yeah, wait a minute. Is there
Any other discussion, gentlemen? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So done.
I put the language in these resolutions about authorizing me to sign and the chairs. So yeah, you don't have to repeat those things, so.
And John, thank you for following up with the town and the Carpenters on this one. This took a while.
Yeah, you're welcome. All that I was up there last, Thursday evening, I think. Righty, the next thing I have for the board's consideration this morning is an assignment of lease involving Lakefield Hangar number 155. This is currently in the name of the Hartnell Living Trust, and it's being purchased, and so we're transferring or assigning the lease to Anthony Boreen. Pretty standard, straightforward stuff. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions on this one?
Just kind of straightforward.
This is an action item with the chair to sign, so.
I move that we approve the assignment of lease Lakefield Airport Hangar number 155 from Hartnell Living Trust to Morim and authorize the chair to sign.
I will second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, so done. You got it, Terry. Go ahead, John.
Thank you. Lastly, today I have for the board's consideration an airport ground lease at the North Fork Valley Airport, hangar number 151. This is currently in the name of Jacobson and being purchased by Queens Waremacher. This is again one of those ones that we're just cleaning up that come towards the end of their term, and so rather doing an assignment, we go ahead and do a new lease. In that process, we We have engineering, and you'll see that there's a new exhibit A. Engineering go out and look and inspect and make sure the hangar is in good condition. So again, this hangar was built in 2001, so 4 years old.
Questions for John on this one? Again, pretty straightforward.
No.
Would you like to make the motion, Mike?
Okay. I move that we approve the airport ground lease, North Fork Valley Airport Hangar 151, Wormeyer, formerly known as Jacobson.
Authorized chair to sign.
Authorize the chair to sign.
Formerly owned by Jacobson.
Formerly owned by Jacobson.
What is it, 7B2? Is that just the
That's
number?
just the airport code.
Okay. I'll second the motion.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. John, I'm proud of you. Look, from 4 minutes after to 15 after.
Well, he's not done yet.
Yes, I am.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. That's all I have for
Oh,
today.
they said 5 things.
Anything else come for the board this morning?
We'll recess until noon when we have the proposed 2026 Delta County budget, public hearing.
Very good. We will recess till 12 o'clock. At that point, we'll have a public hearing on the Delta County 2026 proposed budget. Thank you, everybody. Well, good afternoon, everybody. We are coming up on the noon hour. It is, we're going to pick this up again, Board of County Commissioners meeting for November 18th, 2025. We are going to have a public hearing on the proposed 2026 Delta County budget. At this point, I will turn it over to County Administrator Robbie LaValle.
Thank you, Commissioners. Per the public notice that was put forward to all of the Delta County public as well as on our website, today is the opportunity for Delta County residents to ask questions, to provide input to our 2026 proposed budget. I would offer a few initial items before I turn it over to Finance Director Leona Anderson for the specific details. You will see the difference from the October 7th proposed budget to the current budget that we did finalize an additional position that will be housed under GIS for specifically E911 maps and addressing and additional items being required for mapping and notification under E911. And so you will see that change. You will also see that we have finalized specific capital requests, and Leona has done yeoman's work to finalize the fund balance for not only 2025, but projected for 2026. Our official notice then requires that we offer what the funds from the HUTF, the Highway User Tax Funds, are. You will see that in our capital, which specifically outlines for each of the road and bridge districts, specific roads and specific items for the HUTF funds. In addition, then, we are to show what the Secure Rural Schools Act will be funding. That will be funding not only our road and bridge, but specific items for the school district as well. The general fund, through the use of our software program ClearGov, provides very detailed reports, and all of these have been updated live, where Leona has maintained that information again through ClearGov. It has been made available through hard copy at 560 Dodge as well as online. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Leon Anderson, Finance Director for Delta County for specifics. And we'll be glad to present initial information, take questions from the public, and then any questions from the commissioners as well.
Good afternoon, Commissioners, County Administrator, constituents, and colleagues. This is my 7th county budget presentation, a privilege preceded by presenting 18 human services budgets prior to this. Before beginning, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge and thank our former County Administrator, Susan Hanson, who has recently passed away, for the wisdom she shared with all of us in how we do our budgets. The proposed 2026 budget is structured to ensure Delta County lives within its means over the past few years through a combination of county savings, grant funding, American Rescue Plan Act, and various state grants. We have been able to make significant investments in new and remodeled building infrastructure. This has created a more secure and healthier environment for our employees to serve the public effectively. Additionally, with the support of state, private, and GOCO grants, the county has moved in a positive direction by funding improvements and new additions at our fairgrounds, as well as completing the Miners Trail project, a valuable addition for our children and families commuting to and from school. I am pleased to report that the completion of these projects, Delta County carries no debt into our future. The commissioners and administrative staff have also ensured strong support for our employees, not only maintaining health insurance benefits, but also subsidizing family insurance options despite an 11% increase. The measure aims to reduce financial stress for our employees as they raise their families here in Delta County. For 2025, our focus is squarely on addressing the county road infrastructure, and this budget reflects and provides for those necessary improvements, once again without incurring any debt. Delta County property owners benefit from lower property taxes, and this county continues to provide the best possible services and living situations with the tax dollars provided to us. The entire group of elected officials and department heads has worked diligently to stay within our means to avoid unduly burdening our taxpayers. The full budget document is available for review on our county website at deltacountyco.gov. Thank you all for your collaborative teamwork. I now turn the presentation over to the public for any questions or comment.
Thank you, Leona. At this point, we're going to open up a public hearing. If there's anybody in the room that'd like to address the commissioners regarding the budget or have questions, we'd love to hear from you. We did have a sign-up sheet that went around. Marcia Boyd, you indicated you did not wish to speak.
No, thank you.
Okay. Ma'am, we didn't get you a chance to get signed up. Would you like to visit with the commissioners this morning? Thank you. Is there anybody online?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll put out one last call for anybody who'd like to visit with commissioners regarding the proposed 2026 budget. Hearing none, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing.
Okay, thank you. Is there any questions from the commissioners at this time before I detail the next steps?
Go ahead. I would like to really commend Leona Anderson and Robbie LaValle and all the department heads, including Annie Gallegos. You guys have really dug into the budget and made sure Delta County is doing the best we can with the funds we have available to us. Taxpayer dollars are special, and I appreciate the hard work you've put into this. The fact that Delta County is carrying zero debt is huge, particularly when you hear of other counties that are carrying so much debt that it overruns their budget. So on behalf of myself and many constituents we have, thank you guys. It's amazing what you have done here to provide services and be fiscally responsible.
lot of heavy lifting on your part.
So,
Yes, I would just like to say thank you also, and it's nice that all the department heads get along. There wasn't a lot of drama involved, and then the department heads also did not ask for a lot. You know, we had some new pieces of equipment that are needed, and they have proved that they are needed, and we are fulfilling those requests, but it wasn't a lot of money that each road and bridge department especially asked for, because those guys have some big toys that the county does need. Taxpayers pay for road upkeep, and you need the equipment to do that. But I'd like to just thank all the department heads for working together, and for Robbie and Leon, thank you very much.
At this time, then, again, thank you to all of the public for reviewing the budget. We do appreciate that. I want to echo what the commissioner said. It is significant that in this county, the department heads work together to develop the budget. It is truly done in a collaborative fashion, where the other department heads certainly hear what all the department heads are thinking, and that we think for the long term. Would just offer some additional budget items per the legislative body last year. Then property tax increase was capped at 5.25 instead of the 5.5. You'll see that reflected. We will have a few potential adjustments in wages based on market adjustments that may be reflected as we finalize the budget. That will be the only significant change that we may see. But again, all of that will be brought back on the record. We do know that the majority of our building expenses are done, but certainly as all of these buildings age, then we continue to work on HVAC and certainly other areas that happen when you own buildings. With that, then, next steps will be the finalization of the final numbers presented back to you, and then potential for you all to adopt the 2026 budget on December 9th at 8:30 a.m. during your regular commissioner meeting. Again, any final questions for the 2026 proposed budget?
I have none.
The big piece to me is the takeaway is the debt-free portion of it. You know, you travel around, you run into people and you talk to them about this kind of stuff, and they almost look at you like you're dropped in from another planet. They cannot wrap their head around how a county can operate without any debt. So that has little to do with me, but it has a lot to do with people that sat around these tables in years past. And so my hat is off to all who endeavored to make that happen for decades. So thank you.
Leon, anything else?
No, if anyone is interested in, I could make some time for anybody in the public interested in kind of reviewing how to look at our budget online. That would be fine.
Well, the transparency that ClearGov provides for this budgeting process and the availability of the data out there is certainly helps. So
I appreciate that too.
Yeah.
Jury's still out. No. Any other questions? If not, then Chairman, there's no further at this point.
Okay. Well, thank you, everybody, for being here today, and thank you for your interest in the 26 proposed budget. We will adjourn and look forward to December 9th when we can see the final. Okay. Very good.
Thank you.